Hi guys, welcome back. This is going to be a video to teach you how to make the equivalent to Kentucky Fried Chicken, like popcorn or nuggets, but with tofu. So this is vegetarian style. Actually, I think this is vegan. This is vegan style chicken made with tofu. And what you'll need is a tofu press. This is my tofu press, but don't worry because you don't have to get fancy and buy this specific press. I'm going to show you what this is, but you don't have to buy that. For I think a good few months before I got my press, I was just pressing my own tofu, and all you gotta do is get yourself a block of tofu, get yourself let me just get a couple of things from up here, a couple of boards. So I would put my tofu on there, and I'd put another one on there, and then I would put something really, really heavy. I've got this really heavy chopping board, and that would go on top like that, and it would sit in the fridge like that, or it would actually even sit out on the bench for a few hours if it wasn't too hot inside. But typically it does need to sit in the fridge while you're pressing it, if you can. So yeah, you need those things. Plus I'll go through the ingredients now as well. So hang 10 and I'll be right back. Okay, so the ingredients for our vegan chicken Kentucky Fried version, but it is going to be oven roasted, not deep fried in oil. So what you'll need is olive oil or avocado oil. You need tamari. You can use soy sauce if you don't have tamari. Tamari is much better for you. These two are optional. I'm such a bugger because I mix things up all the time. I add a few different things in every now and then just to see what it's like. So sometimes I'll add in mirin if I just want a tiny bit of sweetness. And sometimes I put in a tiny, I'm talking like 1/4 teaspoon or less of sesame oil for flavor. You also need, the spices we're going to use is cumin, smoked paprika, garlic. Sometimes I put in sesame seeds, and you will need tapioca flour, or otherwise known as arrowroot flour, or you can use rice flour. Look, you can use any regular flour, but again, if you want to keep this healthy, on the more healthy side, better for the insides and your body and your health, then stick with these ingredients. But if you don't happen to have them, substitute them with something else. All right, so I'm going to open up this tofu and then show you how to put this tofu press works. Okay, so we've got the tofu press out. So this is what our tofu looks like. You want a nice big firm block of tofu. Sometimes this is the one I got from Woolworths. I think I prefer the tofu I get from Coles because it's a little bit thicker and it's organic. I don't think this one's organic today, but never mind. All right, so my tofu press, I've got my little spring. It just goes in the little groove in the bottom there. And then I put this has got holes in it. And then we put our tofu, and sometimes you'll have to cut it to fit. I'm just going to squeeze this one in there. Goes in our basket. And let me think now. That goes on the bottom. This goes in the top there. This little circle hits the goes in that thing. Goes in that groove. You guys know what I mean. And then we just put the lid on, and this lid just clips on clips on, and then you just press it. So it goes down as low as it can go. That's as low as it can go. And then it sits there like that. Look, you want to let it press for at least 6 hours. I typically do it overnight. So I leave this in the fridge to, look, if I'm doing it at the start of the day, okay, there's two ways to do this. You can do it at the start of the day in the morning and have it press all day to get the water out. Then put your tofu in the freezer overnight. Bring it out the next day and press it again. Well, wait for it to defrost, of course, but then once it's defrosted, you press it again and then you use it. Now, do you have to do the freeze overnight? Not all the time. There's been many times I haven't done it, actually, many times. I think more often than I don't use the freezer step more often than not. So typically I'll just press it, get the water out overnight, and then I'll use it the next day. I will say that by putting it in the freezer and doing a second round of pressing, just compacts it a little bit more, and it actually makes it more chewy and more texture. So that is what makes it more like meat, like you're eating meat, because it's more compressed and there's more texture to chew on. So if you're wanting that, then definitely do the freezer step and the second press. If not, just the 1 8-hour press is fine, and then you can use it. Okay, so we shall pop this in the fridge, and I will come back tomorrow and finish this video by showing you how to use the ingredients and marinate, and then cooking it in the oven. All right, catch you then. Hi folks, welcome back. All right, I'm continuing the popcorn tofu episode that cooks up just like KFC I will say very similar to KFC chicken, but made with tofu. So you'll remember earlier we used our tofu press. Now I want to show you, look how much water. I'm not sure if you can see that. You can probably see all that water in the bottom here. Let's open it up so I can show you. So it's been pressing for about, well, since 24 hours really. All right, and there you have it. So you can see all that water that's come out of that tofu. So at this stage, you have two options. So at this stage, you can just dry it out, pat it down. Usually I'll take it out because it's still a bit wet because of the water it was sitting in. I'll pat it down and I'll use it. Or at this stage, you would pat it down and put it in the freezer overnight. Now, I don't know if I want to do it to put in the freezer overnight because I have to go to Sydney on Friday and I want to take this tofu cooked up with me. So I really don't have time to freeze it overnight and then press it again tomorrow. So I'm probably just going to use it now and coat it and then whack it in the oven. So let's continue. But again, if you were going to do it the long way to make it more textured, then you would put it in the freezer now overnight, take it out tomorrow, defrost it tomorrow morning, defrost it, press it just for a few hours tomorrow, and then you could actually make your tofu tomorrow sometime after just a short press of about 4 hours. So up to you. All right, so let's get moving on the next part. I'll get all the ingredients out and we'll coat it, marinate it, and cook it in the oven. All right, catch you soon. Hi guys, I'm back. All right, it is time to marinate, put our coating on our tofu. So I think I might need the light on. I look a bit dark in this video. Hold on just one moment. Okay, I think this lighting is gonna have to do. So, all right. So the way I do it is 2 tablespoons of organic, if you can, organic olive oil. 2 tablespoons of tamari, organic tamari, if you can. If you don't have tamari, you can use soy sauce. Same. Sometimes I put a little extra in. Now, this one's optional. Try it with and without. For a tiny bit of sweetness, I use mirin. Sometimes if I'm not using mirin, I'm gonna just use like maybe half. That was half a tablespoon. Again, optional. And another optional component is sesame oil. Now it's a seed oil, that's why I only use a tiny little bit. That's it, because it's very strong. And then I give that a bit of a mix. Then I add my, herbs. Now, cumin is 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. Look, you can get your 1/4 teaspoon out, but you don't have to be exact with these things. Garlic powder is 1 teaspoon. It's a good teaspoon, good heaped one there. And smoked paprika. Bit funky. A good teaspoon. Oh, let's put, I think I got a whole teaspoon in then. Now at this point you can put whatever else you like herb-wise. Sometimes, I have a few different herbs going on over here. Sometimes I use this Mingle brand. Really good if you want low sugar in your diet, because Mingle is all about keto diets. So it's really awesome. Because sometimes you just don't realize that even when you're buying spices or a spice mix, there's all this other stuff in it that you don't really know about. So look, I'm just throwing some of these. This is one of my favorite ones for bagels. Oh, it's got sesame, all different color sesame seeds in there. Anyway, so look, then I'm just going to give this a mix. And then I'm just going to tear up my tofu. So I've got my tofu out of the press, and then it's literally about breaking bits off into bite-sized pieces, or however big you want. That's the perfect size for me, because I put it in wraps, and then you just pop it in the marinade, and you just keep doing that until it's all done. And then we're going to give it a mix. All right, so I'm going to pause this while I finish, and then I'll come back. Now, I also forgot to mention, I've also heating up the oven. So I'm preheating the oven on about 180 to 200. Typically, I think I cook it at around 180. So it's all in there, and now I'm just going to get my favorite little mixer and mix it all through. So, I'll just show you this as I mix it. It all gets coated. Oops, one flying out. So now, as you sort of fold that dressing, coating, I don't know what to call it, over to coat every part of the tofu. So that's what's happened now. Yum. It's at this point, now if I have the pleasure of time on my side, I'm not in a hurry, and I'm putting this together quite leisurely, then I would actually let that sit for a few hours in the fridge. A bit like a marinade, or at least a couple of hours. And sometimes I just do it for even 20 minutes. But I don't have time on my hands today, so I'm gonna go straight through to finishing this off. So once it's coated, then you put 1/4 cup of tapioca flour or some kind of flour. I think you could use corn flour. I guess you could use plain flour if you wanted. I had exactly 1/4 cup in that. And you also put more smoked paprika, another tablespoon of smoked paprika. Come on, darling, come out of that. I hate it when it gets all stuck in the bottom. Oh, there's a bit extra going in there. Ugh. Okay, so that just goes in the top, and we get our spatula, and again we just fold it through till that flour and the paprika is all coated through nicely. Just about there. You want to do it so you actually don't see any white tapioca flour anymore. Ooh, looks good. So see that? That's how it looks so far. And now we are essentially done. So I'm going to go and get my pan. Well, actually, you know what? I've got it right behind me. I always use paper. That just gets rolled out onto here, and I just make sure they're all nice and separate. Give me a minute. Okay, and then I've just got them all laid out and sort of with lots of space in between. You don't want them clumped together on here because they tend to stick together, so you want to give them, you know, a lot of space. And these are going to go in the oven. Now, I don't really have a set time because I just don't. So typically I put them in for 15 minutes. Again, preheated oven already. So I'm going to put the timer on for 15 minutes. Then I'm going to bring them out, turn them over, and then probably pop them in for another 5 to 10 minutes after that. All right. I probably will show you the end result. Yes, I will. So I'm going to edit this video and join videos together. All right. Okay, so these are now out of the oven and looking great. I've already tasted one. It's a good batch. They're all good batches, but sometimes they, depending on sort of what variable spices I put in, some turn out like extra special. So that's what they look like. What I'm going to do, I still have this bowl which I've used. That's what I had the marinade in, and I haven't washed it yet. And I sliced up some mushrooms, and then I put some mushrooms through the leftover, and then I went and fried up my mushrooms with that same marinade. So good. I also put some zucchini in there and just fried up some zucchini. So anyway, now I'm about to put all of these back in that same bowl. Ouch, that was hot. Back in that same bowl, and I'm going to salt it. So salt and pepper, because I did forget to put salt and pepper in the marinade mix. Not such a big issue because we had so many other spices in there. But while it's still hot, I have this great herbal salt. Really, really awesome combination of natural herbs with a salty flavoring. This is my pepper. Love pepper. Remember, I'm not sure if you remember in one of my videos how I spoke about how good pepper is on the stomach lining, at repairing stomach lining. And this is just regular sea salt. And so essentially I just give that like a really big toss around, and I tend to make a dip. So I eat this throughout the week. I eat it in my wraps. I make lettuce wraps instead of like pita bread wraps. A bit like a sanchoy bao, but I put this in it with coleslaw or grated lettuce or grated, carrots or something or other. And I just make a natural dip. So I buy a hummus that's made with olive oil, not sunflower oil. And there's a white bean dip, which I found, which is actually a vegan dip, which is also made with olive oil and not any sort of seed oil. So I mix those two things together, and I also mix a little coconut yogurt in it, a splash of tamari, and that's my sort of natural dip that I have with these things if I eat them just on their own. Oh my God. It is so good. You know, they are so good to eat when they're hot, fresh out of the oven. They taste different when they're cold and then when they've been in the fridge and then heated up in the microwave. But yeah, I usually like food that's been like the next day. It's got more flavor in it for me. But I will say these can't get better than straight out of the oven and are freshly salted. Oh my God. Every time I make this, it's so hard for me not to eat like half the bowl before I get it in the fridge to eat during the week. So you are gonna love this. A great, healthy protein, a substitute for meat, for any vegans, vegetarians, or if you're gonna have a meat-free day, man, this is your meat-free day. You will love this. I guarantee you will have it more than one day a week. That's for sure. Anyway, it's been nice sharing my information and knowledge, and I will catch up with you soon. All right, bye for now.